I was born of pagan parents and started schooling at St. John's School in Makadi. The late Sir Nomhwange definitely lived his life. From very humble beginnings, from a small village in Mbalom to achieving the highest level of professional achievement, he definitely lived what his name meant.
Nomhwange is actually it's a strong path that one can use to achieve anything in life.
Nomhwange in tea is when you are roofing a house, you have to use a king post. Nomhwange is like a king post. The first planks that you use to roof a house, and that is what Nomhwange is all about.
For many persons in the villages, in very remote places, who listen to this story, we talk about a man that achieved a lot with very little. From pagan parents, as an orphan, as one who basically lived and served in a mission house, he was able to achieve education, his life built by the morals which the church was central to, and every decision he made were based on these morals, and it guided every part of him till the end.
Primary school, I see him.
Luvana Shaliede. I turn a car. I wasn't bound a car turn. Zanzan Hen Primary School, Babe. Be Primary School, Haliede. Moshashinyo, my St. Michael's. Shaliede, it's a Gwer is the local government.
What do I remember about my dad? Memories I have of him. I can remember on Saturdays on the balcony clipping his toenails and listening to him tell me stories about how he walked kilometers just to go to school, to fetch water, about the early missionaries. And I used to feel really privileged because the things I heard, if he wasn't exaggerating, then he did really go through something.
I'm a Michaelite. That is where we got to know Ignatius. He came in 1957 when I was already in my Form 4.
I would say my association with him in two parts. The first part when we were students together, young people, secondary school, 6 years that we spent together in St. Michael's Alede. Then we all went our different ways trying to develop and to grow and to do our various, prepare ourselves for life. And he went his own way, I went my own way. And eventually we met again here in Abuja.
After leaving St. Michael's, I moved on to Government Secondary School Okene, where I went for my HSC, the higher school certificate, exams between 1963 and 1964. In 1965, I gained admission into Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, where I was till 1968. Chief Ignatius Igbauke Nomhwange was a very unassuming human being. We hear people talk about his integrity, but what was really there about him was also his humility. Because despite all that he achieved, he always remained a very humble person. There was a lull in my religious life because of the very difficult environment I found myself. This was caused principally
by the time I came, Ignatius and others had been sworn in, and I just joined the team. And that is how we got to know one another. He was commissioner for finance. And as you know, finance is a very crucial aspect of government.
At the workplace, he was the director of finance and economic planning of the Federal Capital Development Authority. Sir I Nomhwange will not pay for work done shortly.
When I came to Abuja, Igne was in a very important position here in the FCT. Because I think it was at that time that he was holding a position that looked like practically the general manager of the FCT.
He was a role model. He was a good example of humility. Despite his high position, he was available to everybody.
The man was very moderate. The man was accessible to everyone. And I can't remember him losing his temper. He was always cool and calm. And it was hot-headed people like me. I would come, and he would calm me down. And so to find somebody in public life like that in our country would be an asset.
And in all these very high offices he's holding, he remains his simple person who can communicate with everybody, interact with everybody. Everybody is happy to see Ignatius.
I remember in his office was documents piled up here and piled here because he was using one office out there outside the area 1 where the offices of the FCT started, and we were told how serious he was.
Akwai wani lokaci muna sitting room nasa mun zo ba da yawa. Zamanin ministan Abuja Benue nan Mbatsada ya shigo ya bude shiga nun gina ina aiki kullun haka Mbatsada ya tsaya kansa ga koban Abuja muna kallo ya tsaya kansa ya kai kamar minti 10 bai san Mbatsada ya zo ba ina aiki kullun shi daga shine tashi sama ya tashi a sama ya ga Mbatsada gaba a kansa Mbatsada ya mushi muna na sitting room muna kallo saboda aiki kullun ya sa aiki in fara ta kai 300 a fayil gidansa a office nasa in je tafi aiki yawa ko sun je mitin aiki yawa je ɗibi fayil nan ne ba gida a kai masa moto a tara ko yana bacci ko baya bacci shine ban sani ba haka bawon Allah nan je yi fayil na baki daya ko daya ba je bari ba zai dawo da su.
Just as he was very, very much in front line in the government, he was also very much in the front line in the church.
We started Night of St. John together in Abuja, and he grew. He became, at one time, the number one person of the Night of St. John in Nigeria.
He lived a very committed life as a church member, as a lay member, as a member of the St. John's International, which is one of the knighthoods in the Catholic Church. And then finally he was given the honor of being a papal knight as well.
A lot of people have respect for him, especially with the church. He was one of the very first people that started the church in this Abuja.
They were one of the few Catholics we had who were important, to whom we ran whenever we had the need of one thing or the other, without going against the job that they were supposed to do. And we and I always insist, tell people, help the church, but not by any crooked means. Yes. What it amounted to was that whatever the church had the right to receive, they made sure we got it.
He loved God. He served God with his whole heart.
The Christian community in Mbalom has been constituted as a juridical person in the name of Ignatius to honor him because of all the good things he has done for our community, so he will be remembered forever.
There was never an occasion that I heard that he was in any way involved receiving or involved in any bribe. I never heard about it.
He was somebody who never associated himself with crime or any ill. From all works, the places that he has served and worked, he was never indicted or found wanting of fraud or anything.
He said, your hands are clean. And he was doing that expression. But once you soil them and you wash them, they can never really be clean. So it is important that you never, soil your hands.
Throughout my life, he was like a mentor. Apart from being a mentor, he gave me directives. And he was a humble, a very honest person and straightforward.
He even tried democratic elections once, and he was not allowed to win. News reaching us said that he actually won that election.
And of course, by then the church had even encouraged Catholics to go into politics.
If only somebody like that became governor of Benue State at that time, we wouldn't be in the type of situation we are now.
Churchy would not title. Ivana Younger. Iti. Inipa ko TV yere Ivana Younger. Oti yana lo ava na agene alo Younger. A Younger aga Ivana Younger yang ulu amina ha. Alo ga nyami hanja aga okay amiga. Asa zugi nyami yan ha do okay. Naga tatu ti wakwera apredo kawatokura yange Nomhwange. Aya no tsunga ya no we kwasena.
Nomhwange yange lolo uson yo lelo ni lo angba wa malo na ha. Nomhwange ton me ton na pado e vande fana ha. Nomhwange wasese he Zanzan was saying Bane Luan Banengue Lutwenga. C'est passé le Evaco Dema and Banu Nomhwange. Balu was in Sege Zanavesi younger Hondo Bahingu Yelan one. Chikahi Yo Nomhwange Jenny.
We've heard all sorts of stories around being hardworking, being prudent, financial management and things. And this all relates to his training, working with the bank, and also clearly realizing that you cannot really spend above your means. As young children, it was easy for us to feel privileged. It was easy for us to feel we could get everything that we wanted by just asking. But for every single one of us, we knew that for every demand you made, that demand had to be justified, it had to be prioritized, and of course, you had to make a case for it.
When they are coming, you say, yes, what do you want? Put it down. Put it down. The child wants 200, give him to go. Put it down as how? If he doesn't need this money, he won't ask. Say, oh, up to now you don't understand. See the money here. But what I am telling you, don't spoil these children.
Daddy was an economist. If he gives you money, you have to tell him what you are going to do with it to the last kobo.
My husband never spoiled the children. He will tell you, look, I love my children. That's all I have. I don't have mother, I don't have a father. Even my brothers are all gone. I'm the only person. So these children, they are my gold.
Putting you straight was his part, and he will want you to always do the right thing.
Daddy, I would say, is a man of little words, but very principled. Ask us a lot of questions about school. You know, students would want to dodge some few questions, but he would focus and want to know specifics, what we are doing in school.
He was kind, he was very hardworking, and my dad got that from him. And I wish I would get that from my dad too.
My mom's dad was a good man. He never gave up and he cared for his wife and children.
My grandpa was a great man and he did a lot of hard work and cared for his loved ones.
My name is Martha Aloho, and my grandpa was a great man and he always helped people who were in need.
I know he was a really kind-hearted man. He was nice, but I know he could be strict at times. I can't really remember much about him because I was quite young. I would have loved to interact with him more, but then most times when I came here, he just greeted.
He was kind. He was lovable. I look up to him as an example, someone that everyone should be like. He was a good Christian, and I bet God is proud of him.
In all of this, he remained a great father, an inspirational one, because every single thing that we are today as a family was based on the life and the lessons that we learned from him.
What stood out in my friend Igbauke Nomhwange, right from our days in Alele to our later years, was his integrity, his commitment and devotion to Christianity and the Catholic Church. It is therefore befitting that this foundation is being created to ensure the continuity of his values and service to humanity.
Well, this foundation is very important because he had a lot of interest in orphanages. He had a lot of interest in people's education. So paying school fees for, the less privileged were things that he really wanted and loved doing. I think this is the best way to carry on with that legacy.